Hello there everyone, welcome to a new video. It is me, Desiree, and we're here today with another collab with my friend kittykatbeauty. We've been doing this little series where we're both reviewing the same palette. We have different preferences and all that kind of stuff. I've done that spiel in several videos already. You should know who she is by now. I will link her down below in case you are not familiar with her. I'll also link down below a few of our other collabs in case you're interested in checking them out. We're both reviewing the same palette. And this week, it's going to be the Carli Bybel palette from Anastasia. And this is what it is. I do have this palette on my eyes today, obviously shimmer all over the place. Carli Bybel isn't, I don't know, I know her name, but I couldn't pick her out in a lineup to save my life. I have no interest in looking her up or seeing who she is. I don't know. I don't really care. But all I know is that this palette is beautiful. I wasn't interested in it when it first came out because what is Anastasia doing right now? What are they doing with their palette releases? Like, nothing seems special. It's just too much stuff. I know ColourPop does that, but that's their thing, is to release palette after palette after palette. And people, I think, kind of like it. So, but a high-end brand like that doing that kind of stuff seems kind of weird. And it makes it seem kind of cheap. And I don't know. Anyway, so when this came out, I immediately wasn't going to get it because it's just another palette they're pushing out. You know, the Jackie Aina one had just come out and barely, got a moment to shine. Something in my teeth. And then several other palettes came out, and this one, it was like, which one do I get? And when I saw this in store, that's what made me want to go get it, because look how beautiful it is. I swatched a few of them, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to take that home with me. One sec. The heater clicked on, and it's already 1,000 degrees in here. I had to turn it off. But I wasn't going to buy this, but online I kept looking at it. I was like, you know what, that looks nice. Saw it in person and I swatched a few, had to get it. I will swatch all of these for you. I do have it on my eyes today. I'll tell you exactly what shades I have on. I think this was $42 or something. It's usually the same price for all of their palettes. I do like that it's not the fuzzy fuzzy, packaging they usually do. And Anastasia isn't a brand that I die over. Their eyeshadow palettes, I think, are good. The Modern Renaissance, I think, is probably one of their best-selling, if not their best-selling product. I have that palette, but I didn't fall in love with it when I first bought it because I couldn't understand the formula. It was an eyeshadow formula I had never used before. It was just all over the place. I couldn't figure it out. Once I did, though, fell in love with it. It's really nice. It's not my all-time favorite palette ever, but it's a wonderful palette if you like those kind of shades. They also include a really nice brush with the palettes that works really well with this eyeshadow formula specifically. And I really love this brush. So it's like a double-ended brush. It's a little fluffy one. This one actually feels really stiff though compared to the other two I have, or three. Maybe it's just the use I've put in the other ones and not this one. I washed it and everything. It just feels kind of stiff. Like when I'm using it, excuse me, cat, I'm trying to do something. I feel like it's I don't know, scratchy a little bit. I don't know what it is about the brush. It's not the same as the other ones, but it does work. It blends everything really well, but just a little stiffer than I'm used to. That's what she said. And then the other side is one I don't know how to use. I don't know how to use a brush cat, come here. I don't know how to use a brush like this. I feel like it just creates a lot of fallout, and I don't know. I tried it, obviously, to smudge stuff on the lower lash line, but I don't know how to use a brush like that, but I always use this side specifically for these eyeshadows. I feel like the Subculture palette, they included this brush, and this brush does not work well with those shadows. That formula is so different than their other shadow formula that the brush kind of made it seem a little worse than it needed to be. Anyway, let's get on to the swatches. The thing okay, maybe I could bend it. It didn't bend back easily enough. So let's start swatching. I'm assuming all of these names are some sort of inside name or something that means something to Carli Bybel, but to me, they don't mean anything to me. But I will tell you all the shade names. You do get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mattes, nothing particularly super deep or anything. And then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shimmers. There's a couple in here that seem a little bit more on the glittery side. And then there's these two right here that are very, very similar. One has a lot of sparkles in it, but as far as the shade on the lid, I feel like it's a little similar. The palette also just looks like a mishmash of random stuff. It seems more like she tried to put together a palette of shade names and colors that meant something to her, but I don't see that she was trying to put together a cohesive palette. It looks just like a mishmash of stuff. That's okay with me. I don't need a palette to like be a perfect look the whole time. I do appreciate that and I like it in other things because I don't always know what to do with eyeshadow. I need like little trios set up for me so I know what to use together. But I do like something like this every once in a while. It's just a mishmash because it kind of makes you think like, okay, oh my God, what can I wear together? What two shades are going to go together? And I think for the most part, most of it works well together with everything else. Like this one right here, this one, like the mattes and the shimmers seem to go pretty well together. The only shade that's kind of weird to me is this one called Boy. It looks like it's brown, but it has like a green undertone and it does not work. I feel like I have too much chapstick on. It does not work with these other shades. It's just weird to me that it's there. It's like a brown with green in it. That one did not make any sense to me. I never use it. I tried it and I was like, ugh, it makes everything else look kind of gross. I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, let's get swatching. So on my lids today, I have the one here called Libra. I did use the brush it came with. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. I have the one called Libra. Dust off the excess with this kind of palette. So most of the palettes that Anastasia has that are like this, they're going to have a lot of stuff. So you're going to dip in and as you can see, like it falls out right away. So don't use it like this, obviously. Dip in gently. Don't go crazy. Don't swirl your brush in it unless you want to make some sort of viral hate video, whatever. Put your brush in, tap off the excess, put it on. You're going to have like the perfect amount on your brush. I don't usually get fallout with these eyeshadows as long as I'm tapping off the excess because enough hangs back on your brush, even though it seems like you're tapping off all of it. Anyway, I got Libra. This is what's up here. And then on my finger, I got the shade called Jode and just patted it all over the lid. And then I have the shade called Bolly on the inner corner. That's it. On the lower lash line, I also put some Libra. It's another shimmer shade, but I put it on the lower lash line. So that's all I have on my eyes today. Those two shades and then a pop on the inner corner with the shade Bolly. I think it looks really nice. The only thing about this palette that I feel like I wish they had grouped them together a little more so you kind of feel like you know what you're doing. And I never ever usually complain about a palette not having a darker shade because I don't really care to have a dark outer corner every single time. But I wish with this palette that they had put an actual like regular old dark brown here rather than that brown with the weird green undertone because I feel like it kind of brings everything together a little bit. But I think it's okay. I mean, not every palette has to have that. If I know you have one of those shades already, you don't need another one in this palette. I think that's about it. I really have been enjoying this palette quite a bit. As you can see, I've used pretty much every single shade except that one. I hate that one. I haven't really had an issue. This one here, I don't love. I will swatch it for you and show you why. But everything else, I haven't had an issue with it. They blend super well. They go together pretty well. I really like this palette a lot. I'm glad I bought it, and I don't regret it for a second. I think it's awesome. So let's get to swatching, shall we? Let's swatch the first row. We have Carli Bybel, Mandala, and Libra. Carli Bybel, Mandala, and Libra. This is the one I have on my like creasy whatever area up here. This one I really like. It's so pretty. It's like a taupey, browny, bronzy, beautiful shade. Just something I really like. Then we have Jode. These are the two that look very similar. I'm going to swatch them right next to each other so you can see. And then this weird brown green. What is that? I don't know why I see green in this shade, but I just, for some reason, it doesn't work for me. There's Jode and Oa, and then Boy. This is the whole first row. These two, obviously, really similar shades. This one here has a little bit more sparkle in it. I don't know if you can see it. A little bit of blue sparkle. It has more of a purpley undertone. They're not exactly the same, but I feel like on the lids, on mine anyway, I feel like they kind of look very similar. So there's that row. Let's swatch the next row. We have, ooh, I have a cut on that side. I'm not swatching on that side. It's not a big old cut, but you know, enough to make a swatch look weird. There's a shade in here called Moo. I don't know why it's called Moo, but you know what? That's fine with me. So we have Bear, Moo, Chai, and Cindy. I really love the shade called Cindy. Cindy, Chai, and there's the next one called Steve or something, Stev, go really, really well together. This one here is also really pretty called Moo, just super metallic and foil looking on the lids. The really shimmery shades in here I prefer putting on with my finger. Usually I put on anything that's going on the lid, I'm always putting it on with my finger because I just feel like I get the most bang for my buck, plus there's a less fallout. And I can never really pick up shades like that on my brush for some reason, so I always put them on with my finger. So next we got Steve, Aura. Of course Aura swatch is really good, but I haven't been able to get it to look like that on my lid. It takes a little bit more work. But it's called STEV, so I don't know if it's Stev or Steve, Aura, and My Angels. This one here called Aura is so pretty, but for some reason I can't get it to look like that on my lids. I feel like it's a little chunky, there is a lot of fallout with it, but it swatches really, really nice. And then My Angels here is really pretty too. Really nice, like super gold foil looking shade. And that's it. Oops, look, I extra swatched with my dirty fingers. But that's the whole palette here. Those are all of my thoughts. I really like this. I don't regret it for a second. It doesn't make me want to go look up Carli Bybel. But the palette is really, really nice. I'm glad I bought it. If these kind of shades do something for you, if they're speaking to you, I don't think you'll be disappointed with it. Comes with a really nice brush. Price point's pretty good. It's on sale right now. If you're a VIB at Sephora, you can get 20 or 15% off. And why not pick it up on a discount? So, yeah, that's it. Don't forget to check out Kitty Cat Beauty's video. She will be linked down below. I can't wait to see what her thoughts are. And I will see you later in another video. Thanks for watching this one. Bye.